layman's terms.
Nestor Lecanto from the KWM news team. Ness, so
what was she saying?
What was she saying?
Okay, I think this was what I was confused with, what I wanted to clear up. Actually, the Treasury is sitting on over, and I think you heard the governor say that, over $30 million in Section 30 money. And that's money that, according to the law that former Congresswoman Madeleine Bordallo passed, that was part of the NDAA back in, I think, 2017. Anything in excess of $68 million, I think, was the threshold. Mm-hmm. That goes to the Treasury for war reparations payments. So in the last couple of years, that's accumulated to a level of about over $30 million. But what the governor was referring to was the $11 million that was fronted by Gov Guam to pay for war claims that were adjudicated, and then there was an agreement that they made with the Treasury that, and with the individual claimants, that once they got their checks from Treasury, that would be reverted back to the government of Guam. So that's the $11 million that she's talking about. I was thinking that she was going to ask Treasury to release the more than $30 million that they're sitting on, and whatever was not going to any adjudicated claims, they could use that for now, and then once the federal stimulus money comes back, then Treasury could just write itself a check to reimburse it. That's where my confusion was with that. But what she's referring to is the $11 million that Gov Guam has already fronted to war claimants, mm-hmm. And that they're waiting for Treasury to reimburse those claimants, or to pay that, and that money will be used. They'll do the same thing again with the federal stimulus checks. So they want to use that $11 million to pay out as many advanced stimulus checks as they can, using the same idea that those people who receive that then will revert that back to the government of Guam.
I see. But that still doesn't address because I thought what she also said was in total it would be 130 or 150 or something like that to pay out all of the federal stimulus payments. Was it, or something like that. Wasn't she mentioning that?
I think she was. Hold on, because I lost Nestor. It wasn't me being rusty. There's a technical thing that happened.
So, okay.
Hold on,
so, okay, that was Nestor kind of breaking down what the...
Hello?
Yeah,
hey,
sorry about that.
When did I get off?
I don't know.
You ended... I was asking a question, actually, about... You were talking about the was it 11 million mm-hmm. that she's going to use from what we use to pay out the local war claims, and then reimburse for Treasury and use that particular pot of money to advance the federal stimulus monies, which we will get reimbursed.
Right. It's the same idea.
Right. But she also said that it was up to $130 to $150 million.
Well, that's what they calculated it would cost to cover the entire stimulus check that will be coming to Guam.
Right.
So they've only got 11 million. They're going to try to pay as many people or pay as many of those checks out of that 11 million as they can. But obviously, it's just a fraction of what will be coming over.
Ness, because I was really confused by what the governor said, but did she say that Senator Regine Bisco-Lee's bill that will provide $15 million was not enough?
Yeah.
So how is $15 million not enough, but $11 million is?
Well, it's not enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not enough, but I don't know.
It would be conjecture on my part, but I'm thinking that what she's really trying to say is that it will be difficult for her to find $15 million right now. Yeah.
So did someone call you and explain try and explain what the governor said afterwards? Because it really.
Yeah, I spoke with someone from Guadeloupe, and we talked about it, and so it became clear to me at that point that what she was referring to was the 11 million, and not the entire pot. Because the Treasury is sitting on more than $30 million dollars. Yeah. That is government of Guam money. That is Section 30 funds, right? But because of that law that provided for the payment of war claims. If we make more than 68 million.
Right, right.
We make more than 68 million in a given year from Section 30 funds. Whatever is in excess of 68 million goes to the Treasury, and that's set aside for war claims payments.
Right. But so basically what the governor said was Senator Regine Bisco-Lee's idea is not going to fly. She has her own idea, and that's what they're going to run with.
They're going to run with this 11 million, and she didn't say. I think the previous day she said, I didn't say I'm not going to.
Yeah.
She got upset. It was not upset, but I felt like she was. There, I don't know if it was passion or emotion, but you know, she said that she never said she would veto it, and then yesterday she basically said that no. I mean,
Well,
that
she
was a
didn't
no.
say she was going to veto it. She just
Technically, she
said
didn't.
that 15 million was not enough.
But 11 million is.
But she's got her own plan.
Yeah.
You
so,
know,
there you go.
and she plans on
Yeah,
using.
what it comes down to, guys, is the cash flow.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got. She needs to make sure she's got money set aside
Mm-hmm.
to pay for essential services. That's number one.
Yeah.
We need to keep the cops on the roads for our safety. We need to keep the medical staff at CMH.
We need to keep the non-essential government employees getting a paycheck while they stay home.
Well, if you go through the priority list, it's going to be the essentials that have to be paid first.
Well, you know, I think is interesting is that you have in the CNMI Governor Ralph Torres. He is already planning, and he's already going to start furloughing people because he's seeing a 48%
Right.
reduction, right, as a result of the COVID crisis there. And so I think yesterday those notices or a list was supposed to be compiled by their agency heads to see who can be, you know,
Right.
the hours can be reduced,
Yeah.
and et cetera. But I know that you had asked that question.
I asked the governor. I said,
whether we're
hey.
going to see any cost-cutting measures.
Yeah, and she said no.
Yeah.
She said that she's going to do what she can to keep employing the employees of the government of Guam because she said if she furloughs them, then they're going to go apply for food stamps like the private sector workers are doing.
I'd be very surprised if there is not already a contingency plan for
Right,
that.
yeah. And I mean, God, no one wants...
You have to.
Yeah, nobody
wants
that.
furloughs, you know, but I'm thinking had we instituted maybe instead of they're getting a full paycheck, non-essential, maybe 72 hours or just some kind of gesture. But I just want the government employees to know that, man, and I'm sure they do. You look at what's happening in the CNMI, compare and contrast, very, very fortunate. Very fortunate.
And I think the way the governor explained it, because you want to try to minimize the hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to. I think the way she answered your question yesterday, Chris, was that, you know, if we do cut these people or reduce their hours, they're going to move to the line for you know, the social programs.
Right.
So, you know, it's going to be the same.
Long line.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways.
Well, it's going to be fun.
The legislature.
Yeah, that's 10 o'clock
10 a.m.
emergency session, right, Ness?
Yeah, that's a 10 o'clock emergency session. All of the senators and very limited number of staff will be in the Congress Hall, and I'm sure they're going to get a lot of viewership on this.
Yeah.
And I counted 27 bills that were directly related to the coronavirus crisis, and at the top of that list is, you know, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee's bill that we just talked about,
Right.
which would cut $400 and $800 checks.
I'm wondering, as the rules chair, maybe she's going to pull some strings and get that bill on the floor.
Yeah, I believe so. I'd be surprised if it didn't make the floor.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing with the legislature, and this was told to me a long time ago by the late great Frank Santos, is job number one is you got to count noses, because if you ain't got the votes, it ain't worth getting to the floor. You know.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So, and we'll see what of those 27 bills or any other new bills that they come up with are going to hit the floor.
Yeah, there's some good ones, man. There's some good ideas. You know, we've been dogging the senators, but you know, they've had some good measures that are just not seeing the light of day because of the postponement of the session.
And also, you know, they're supposed to introduce their or submit their amendments
In
before-
advance.
yeah,
But
so
how do
I
you
don't
submit
know.
an amendment if there's no agenda? Ooh, that's like a chicken and the egg question.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting session because it's unprecedented. I mean, they're not used to working with limited staff to go copy.
Oh, they're gonna have to get their own amendments. Ah, a day. Welcome to the real world.
So yeah, this will be must see TV.
Right?
Hey, Nestor LeConte over the KUAM News team. Thank you, Nestor.
Thanks, Ness.
All right, guys.
Okay.
All right, man. There's so much experience there with Nestor LeConte. We're gonna take a break. We're coming back.
Want to
Okay.
do national news? Or?
Okay. Yeah, we can. Whatever you say, boss.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so make sure to tune in for a special session at 10 a.m. Yes, Jason?
Oh, yeah. One thing that we are actually trying to work on